for our fourth video on the second point in Luther's explanation that God preserves his creation. Every time we recite that first article truth, I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, we further ourselves along in this understanding of how blessed we are that God didn't just create, but he preserves still, to this day, invisibly among us. I can't help but think about this passage. I kind of skipped one in the previous video on accident, so I'm going to read it to you. Psalm 139, verse 14. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, I think about how I've been put together, and I kind of get a little bit scared, God, because you are so far beyond me, and yet it's a fear that causes me to stand in awe in your presence. I am wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, the psalmist says. I know that full well. So I want to ask you in this fourth video another question to again help us see how amazing God is and how important it is to draw everything back that is good, a blessing to him. What has God created so our bodies just don't fall apart immediately? And so that this world doesn't just crumble or become a place where we're unable to live? Spell out all these things. And now God is always at work preserving his world, even in spite of our ruining his creation by our sin. So that's another aspect of this. God still is preserving. And do you know what means? That he's preserving all these things by? And how he is even able to preserve these things in spite of our falling into sin and bringing all of creation into chaos, bringing death and the breakdown of his creation into this, how God is still preserving. So maybe looking for a scientific word, but what do you think? What is God utilizing to preserve order and structure in our bodies and in creation, in the systems that are in place? What do we call those things? I'll give you a hint. Gravity is a particular way that God holds things together, right? It's a something of nature. There's a whole bunch of different things that God created, rules, if you will. But can you talk about the different rules that are in place? Another word for that we find in nature? That again points out, boy, God must be the preserver of these things because nothing else could explain it. Blessings on your conversation today.